dress codes, rituals, and a devoted following.
Siya yung dakilang doktor, siya yung dakilang gamot, siya yung magbibigay ng buhay sa akin, siya yung magbibigay ng buhay sa akin.
Maraming nagbibigay kritisismo sa inyong paniniwalang yan dahil kaiba.
Kung ano yung nakikigistan namin dito, nakikita namin, yun ang pinagtatangulo namin.
They are peculiar, yet they grow in number and thrive. But why?
Pantay ang pagmamahal ko sa inyo, anak ko. Subalit, isang puntos, kung sino ang hindi nagmamahal sa akin, pagdating ng panahon, hindi ko rin mamahalin. Intindi?
Mornings are sacred to the women in a remote village of Calamba, Laguna.
At panahon na upang kami namimili ng tunay na sumusunod at tunay na gumaganap sa buong sandaigdigan na ito.
Patriotic attire during prayer is a must because they worship a political hero. Jose Rizal.
Ang ating Panginoong Hesukristo ay darating muli. Ngunit ang ating amang God, Dr. Jose Rizal, ay siya rin babalik muli. Iyan ay iisa lamang po yan.
Gloria Bibat calls their religion Sagrada Familia, but others might see it as a cult.
Cults are often associated with religious groups that tend to be strange and tend to be controversial. Normally, people would associate a cult with a charismatic figure around whom the beliefs and the practices revolve, to whom every believer must be loyal. So that's one. Another characteristic of a cult is that it is very exclusivist. It does not entertain outsider or outside elements, external elements. It is convinced that it is the only true form.
When the Philippines was fighting against Spain for its independence, belief in Rizal as God spread across Quezon and Laguna.
The Rizalista is really the hybrid combination of Catholic beliefs and practices and the nationalistic fervor or the nationalistic aspiration of Filipinos. So that really makes it very unique. At another level, we see that they're asserting themselves as independent religious groups. We are Christian in this way, but we are interpreting the faith in a very specific manner, true to our heritage and true to our culture and true to who we are as Filipinos who want to be independent. That's why they became very popular among the peasants back then.
Members of the Sagrada Familia live in a commune along the shores of Laguna Lake, with fishing as their main livelihood. Most of them have been part of the faith all their lives.
Ito po ang nasimulain ng aming mga magulang. Ito po ang sinabi sa amin ng kami maliliit din. Kaya ayun din po ang pinapaano ko sa mga anak ko ngayon. Meron nga po nasasabing ganun, bakit daw si Rizal ang aming sinusundan. Eh, si Rizal daw po naman, isang tao lang. Eh, sabi ko naman po, si Dr. Rizal saka si Jesucristo, iisa ang kanilang kapangyarihan.
Maraming nagbibigay kritisismo sa inyong paniniwalang yan dahil kaiba.
Hindi po. Yung taos tulong namin yung pinagtatanggol, kung ano yung nakikigistan namin dito, nakikita namin, yun ang pinagtatangulo namin.
One salient characteristic that we find among these religious groups is the assertion that they know the truth. And they have to keep the truth, they have to maintain the integrity of the truth. It can only be passed down from one generation to another. So there's a mysticism in these groups.
But not everyone is born into the faith. Victorina Plata is a cancer survivor. She found her salvation in the Apostolic Catholic Church, or ACC, a religious movement founded by Virginia Leonzon in 1992. ACC believes that Apo Ingkong, or the Holy Spirit, came to earth as Virginia. Members honor her as a saint who can cure illnesses. Victorina claims this to be true.
Noong pa, masakit ako eh. O nung pa sakit ko, wala akong ibang inaasang kundi Tapos nang sila matagpang sitwasyon, dito ako talagang nakano dito talaga ako maling. Dito na ako naman. Dito na ako tumira. Incarnated body siya ng Diyos. So, ang paniniwala ko, siya yung dakilang doktor, siya yung dakilang mga gamot, siya yung nagbibigay ng buhay sa akin, siya yung nagbibigay ng buhay sa akin. Yun yung paniniwala.
We see that their attraction can be explained by their, for a lack of a better term, exotic appeal. Diba? So there's a lot of healing about them. There's a lot of spirituality that we find in their beliefs and in their practices. That's quite appealing to certain groups of people who may not necessarily have access to health or education.
The ACC shares similar practices with the Roman Catholic Church, like the Holy Mass, although theirs is much longer. Christmas is the feast of Señor Noemi, or the infant Jesus, although it falls on a different date.
Actually, there are only 10 months in a year. Dinagdag lang yung 2 buwan. Kaya ang celebration namin ng Christmas falls on October 23.
But the ACC has teachings they established on their own, like pilgrimages every Fridays at Sacrifice Valley in Bataan, a community established by their founder. Men and women both don white garments, but pray separately. Here, members ask for grace and healing. These unusual and stringent rules earn these groups infamy as cults. But labels do not help in a quest for a harmonious society.
If you look at it more closely, the definition is very condescending towards small religious groups. This group is a cult because they are not like us.
But sometimes strange circumstances raise more doubts about small religious movements. This is the camp of Iglesia del Ciudad Mística de Dios, a Rizalista group based in Dolores, Quezon.
Ang nakalarawan dyan, hindi namin sinasamba. Kaya lang, yan kung sila kinikilala natin bayan ng ating lahi.
Lipstick. Bawal ang lipstick. Bawal to. Rolex. Bawal ang Q-tex.
Bawal ang damit na maigsi.
Bawal ang damit na maigsi. Ang hikaw. Bawal din. Bawal din ang hikaw. Okay lang po sa inyo yun na ipinagbabawal kayo ng ganito. Okay lang sa inyo.
They also take penitence to the extreme. If Rizal is their god, Isabel Suarez is their divine commander. She is their supreme leader.
Kung sabihin ni Suprema na iwan mo ang pamilya mo, gagawin mo?
Opo, kung ano po yung pag-utos po yun.
Bakit ganyan na lang ang pananalig mo sa kanya?
Kasi po siya po ang aming ginagalang, siya po ang aming ginugusto.
Ako yung tao nila ang pangkaraniwan. Tao rin makasalanan, walang naintindihan. Amin yung talagang pinagsusumikap ang maghanap sa buhay namin lahat ay yung kami mamuhay na nasa tahimik o payapang kalagayan.
Ironically, the religious society of Ciudad Mística evokes fear in its neighbors. Rumors are rife that there's a private army residing in the camp.
Itong grupong ito ay kinatatakutan doon sa pamayanan. Una-una dahil doon sa mga armas na iniingatan nila doon sa kanilang loob ng kanilang compound. Ang pruweba namin dito, pumunta ka dyan sa pamayanan ng mga ordinaryong araw na maririnig mo talaga yung mga high-powered firearms na pinapuputok.
Yan yung mga pinararata nga sa amin ng mga iba na ako raw yung meron sariling private army at mga armaduhan. Pero isang malaking kasinungalingan yan.
So wala kayong private army?
Wala.
Wala kang mga bodyguards?
Wala.
But in March 2000, a homicide served as a smoking gun, revealing chaos at the camp. Abelardo Robles, a member of Ciudad Mística, shot and killed Anastasio de Villa, a farmer who stood up against the group over a land dispute. Robles hasn't been seen since, and de Villa's family believes Ciudad Mística is coddling a murderer.
Ang nararamdaman ko, siyempre ako nakit na sa ating gobyerno. Pagkat isang buwan ng mahigit, hindi pa ako nababa yung warrant para madakit yung tao. Membro sila ng Mística na isa sa mga ma-influensya dito sa aming bayan.
Religious groups tend to be spaces where exploitation and abuses happen because, number one, of the power relations within these groups. Certainly we find this in the Catholic Church, certainly we find this in Protestant churches, but certainly we find this also in small religious movements.
Ultimately, all religions, whether big or small, strange or familiar, claim to lead their followers to the path of love and peace.
Kahit saan ka man relihiyon, kung ang importante sa lahat po, yung pag-iibigan sa isa't isa, pagmamahalan sa isa't isa, pagtutulungan, na kahit saan ka man naroroon, saan ka man relihiyon, ang pagmamahalan, ang kairalan sana at pag-iibigan sa isa't isa.
Way before the Catholics arrived in the Philippines in the 16th century, we already had so much religious life around the Philippines. At the end of the day, being faithful to a particular religious conviction should make us better human beings, better Filipinos, better citizens, and better friends, better family member, better person.